Hi, and welcome to another episode of Cracking the Box. This is Jim Starkweather with the Kitmaker Network. Today we've got the new T28 super heavy tank from Dragon. This is another prototype-only type tank. It was never in full production. It was only tested, I believe, through the end of World War II and a little beyond, and was eventually replaced with some other super heavy tanks that also did not ever really get into full production. This tank was meant to obviously compete against other German heavy tanks like the Maus, and it, I guess at one point was, besides being used in Europe, which it was too late for, it was actually, according to Wikipedia, thought to be used, or potentially planned to be used in Japan. That would have been an interesting scene of one of these potentially maybe driving on shore with Japanese artillery, I guess, trying to take a bite out of it. This kit, 1/35 scale, obviously, it's a smart kit by Dragon. It is still wrapped in the shrink wrap, which obviously means that I have not yet opened the box, so it'll be really hard for me to have done anything inside of it. So here we're going to take our first look, both you and I together, in this video, which is, oops, still sealed. Back of the box, just for people who are interested, shows obviously some of the construction techniques. We've got a center upper and frontal hull with side hull areas or skirts. We've got the lower hull. This is one of America's first classified tank destroyers versus an SPG or something. And this unit had a casemate construction, which is essentially where the gun is fixed to the lower hull. And we can see inside the box, we've got a turned aluminum barrel, photo etched pieces, a couple of photo etched, one decal sheet, some springs for the suspension, and some tow cable wire. And I believe that's it for that. We'll take a closer look at all this stuff at some point, obviously. Tracks are the Dragon beige vinyl tracks. They look pretty nice. I like you just kind of see from the movement here that they obviously look to simulate real tracks without all that extra track stuff. We've got one bag of sprues, two bags. Oh my goodness, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, and 11, 12, 13, and 14. 14 bags of stuff. Looks like we have a correction to the manual for step 2, I'm guessing, or step 2 and 8. And here's the manual, which obviously is very typical of Dragon, noting parts that are not used, potentially parts for a previous release, probably a similar tank that used some of the hardware here that's in this one. And obviously not a lot of schemes for this tank since it was never in combat. I like how the box actually looked like it was showing kind of a proving grounds shot. Let me get my camera resituated here, and we can start taking a look at some of the individual plastic. Pull the project here. So I will use this time to, as I normally do, point out that I shoot these videos in sequence and not edited over various things. We've had a lot of comments both from users and staff about this format, and I will pretty much tell you point blank I'm not going to change it. Mainly because I don't have time to edit videos for hours and hours and hours, which is what it would take to do video production the way most members would prefer to see it. Heck, I would prefer to see it that way, but it's not going to happen because it just takes too long. I've done videos like that in the past, and the difference between this video, which takes me about 15 minutes to shoot, and then maybe an hour or so to get updated and online, versus how long it takes me to do a video where the video has to be shot in various stages, and then edited together, and then uploaded, and so forth. It's a 4-hour versus half an hour, essentially, proposition. And I don't have 4 hours to do these, so I hope you will understand. Here's the top of the hull. I'm not going to get out to shoot to the whole thing because I'd have to readjust my boxes and the focal length. But you can see, let me get in a little closer here, or get the focus in a little closer, and then there is some nice detail, some texturing on the hull there. These rear areas where I believe the fuel cells, I'm guessing, kind of just from looking at it, are stored. And the front, I'll try to do the front, although it's going to have to pull back here a little bit. Here's the front detail with the, I assume, rivets, although they look kind of odd. They're kind of rectangular shaped. Let's take a look at the lower hull. Again, sorry, I'm going to have to refocus. Looks pretty basic, not a lot to see here in terms of detail, really. Does have kind of a little forward section here that's obviously a multi-piece setup. And interesting note that you have to pop out there, cut out. All right, let's take a look at the main sprues here with the side skirts and the frontal gun elements. Here's these things that I'm assuming are fuel cells. This gun was designed to, I should say, the tank was designed. It has 300 millimeters of frontal armor, so it was designed to take a hit from pretty much any German gun at the time it was probably originally produced. I'm sure some of the late war German tanks that were, again, prototypes themselves would have probably been easily able to destroy this tank, especially from the sides. But and again, since this tank has a similarity to some of the others that we've been reviewing lately, like the German low tank, which is that the tank is used in heavily in World of Tanks. So I don't know if, again, this is a release where maybe World of Tanks is having an impact on prototype releases, although obviously we've had a lot of paper panzers and other kinds of releases prior to World of Tanks. But we don't know this. I mean, this tank obviously, again, is in the game, and it's something that may be spurning that type of thing. So there's those pieces that fit into the side lower suspension pieces. So again, I'm trying to think of what to kind of focus on here. It's the front, not angling it the right way, obviously, but the front gun mantlet. Sorry, trying to get to the focus thing. I can't see it because I got the sprue in the way. All right, I'm going to switch to autofocus and see if, no. Kind of depends on my light sometimes. Okay. All right, so moving on. Here's the other two sprues that were in that set. Again, lots of, this is a large tank with 14 bags of plastic, so I'm not going to cover them individually every little bit, but let's, try to get an overview just like you would potentially be able to do if you were allowed to do this in the store and open the box. By the way, I did see this kit at my local hobby town recently, so I know it is out and available. Here's the front gun muzzle brake. And the second piece is a duplication of that with the, obviously the gun muzzle gives you a second one. Interesting. I guess they just produced a second one for the sake of speedy production. Here's one of the next piece is one of the again suspension bits. There's four of these. Sorry, they're sticking together. Try to get this focal length correct. It still seems like it's out of focus. Nope. That's better. Okay. So again, lots of suspension bits and pieces. Let me leave that up there while I'm opening the next one. This looks like just, I'm not sure, it doesn't come with individual track links, so I'm not sure what these are. They look like they have something to do with tracks, but because there's so many of them. But I'd have to look in the instructions, obviously. There was another, I guess those must be suspension pieces, because there's another bag of screws that are the exact same as those ones I just showed you prior to this. So that's 8 of those in total. And then we have these pieces, which are small little round, I assume part of the running wheels. So there's a bag of those, like this. Lots of those. You will not be bored building this tank. It has plenty of stuff to do. Let's take a look at some of the more... Actually, these are some of the pieces that they've marked as reused. Or obviously not all those pieces. Let me think of what other tank that this one shares pieces, or shares some elements to, which are... I guess the top... Some of the top detail pieces, the commander's cupola, the gun mounting, the gun fixed gun mount. Not sure. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So, stop babbling. For those who don't like my babbling, stop watching my videos. So that's the piece I was talking about. Obviously, this is not used. This is from a previous release. And again, they give you that same piece here, because I think there are duplicate pieces that they're wanting to use on here. Very small detail, like these little handles. And then here's some of the potential running gear. Again, a lot of the pieces on these weren't used, so it's probably just mostly upper deck details and things like that. There's a small bag of, again, multiple. Like 4 of these. So some of those. Let's go ahead and show you here's another bag of M50 and some clear plastic, lenses and so forth. So here's the M50. Again, those are probably from previous releases on bedding. Here's another bag of suspension parts. There's actually 2 of these also. My goodness, this thing must be a monster in terms of building the suspension. Running gear. So there's 2 of these. 2 bags of these, I should say. There's 4 of these in this set, in this bag. So there's 8 of these total. My goodness. Let me just double check to make sure I'm actually seeing that right. Yes, there are. Although this one looks a little different, so I guess there are some pieces on this one that are not used on this other one. Or that aren't on that one, I should say. Alright, let's move along rapidly because we're already 13 minutes. I also try to keep these fairly short, obviously, so that's one of the reasons I kind of skip through, and I know I sometimes miss a few things, but here's the tracks I was talking about, so you can kind of see some of the detail and so forth. And then let's take a look at the photo etch and the gun. The gun. Sure I don't damage my photo etch. Here's the gun, which, let me go ahead and get the other pieces out while you're perusing that. Stop rolling, gun. Just going to kind of take these off and lay them here. Those are the springs. And the wire, or excuse me, tow cable. Sorry, I have to be a little careful with these pieces, obviously, and not try to damage them, so. Here's one of the photo etch pieces. In terms of the gun barrel, since it has the muzzle brake on the front, there's really no detail other than just the actual barrel being turned itself, and it looks perfectly fine, as most do. There's one of the photo etch pieces. So I'm not sure how much appeal this tank has, so let me know what you think. If it's I don't think I touched that, but it looks like I got something on there. Let me know if you think it's something you're going to be interested in doing. See if I can get the contrast right there. Obviously, there's it looks like. Let's see if I can. I'll try to get this in a little closer so you can see it. Some more detail. Got T28 markings, USA, serial number, and then some random numbers. And then the final piece of photo etch. Anyways, I was saying, so let me know in the comments if you think this is the tank you're going to be building or buying or saving or doing something with. I have to say, Dragon, I like that you use the Ziploc bags, but since you tape them, you make it almost impossible to open them sometimes. So, kind of a moot point when you do it that way. So there's the other piece of photo etch. And again, these are marked T28 135th MB 6750, which is the model number of this tank, 6750. Let me see if the other one has the same markings. I didn't look. Yes, it does have T28. I don't see the other marking. Okay, so let me just make sure I've gotten everything here. Didn't miss anything major. That should do it. So again, this has been fun. So no, with this many parts, it's always a challenge to do these. So you guys have questions or comments? Please put them in the comments area. I'm somewhat done with the feedback on the videos, so. I mean, I appreciate the feedback. I've gotten the videos as pretty much as good as I can get them in this kind of framework in terms of the way my production setup is. So I apologize if they're not as good as some people would like them to be, but I can't do any better right now. So if someone else can do better, I'll be more than happy to transfer this capability over to someone else. But you don't think that's going to happen in the short term. So. Again, thanks for your watching, and we'll see you next time. Or not.